More services are coming to campus, helping students get from point A to point B late at night.
Community members gathered to honor a 3-decade-old mural that was vandalized.
And will Google be good for downtown San Jose? Some residents speak their minds.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Alex Marnay.
And I'm Elizabeth Rodriguez. This semester, San Jose has reached its second highest enrollment ever. In spite of the numbers, the school is working to ensure students have a smooth experience. Kelsey Valle has more on this story.
San Jose State is welcoming one of its largest classes yet, as President Mary Papazian announced in her fall 2018 address.
So nearly 35,000 in total, one of the largest classes in our history.
The latest update shows current enrollment is around 35,200 students, which means there are about 600 fewer than last year. The final headcount for the semester will be reported in October.
How many students that we admit, how many students we bring in is really a factor of how many students graduate at San Jose State. So we're seeing more students graduate, which is great. So that's allowed us to bring in more students.
Students have noticed that maneuvering around campus has become more difficult almost every year. No new parking structures are in the works, but a new science building and more on-campus housing are in development to accommodate the amount of students coming in.
Even just trying to walk to class, like you're just walking like in a mob of people, and it's just like oh, watch out, move over.
It's really sad because like I went to like all of the different parking garages, and they're always full, or like you could fight for parking if you wanted to, but like it's just kind of like hopeless.
A recent CSU initiative aims for students to graduate at a faster rate. The school is investing in more core sections and additional faculty in order to meet the increasing demands. On campus, Kelsey Valle, Update News.
Spartan Eats, which is owned by the food service company Chartwells, started making changes over the summer. The student union now showcases brand new restaurants. Some students were initially against the company making changes and even took their concerns to social media. Spartan Eats marketing director Stephanie Fabian says the changes were necessary.
And the biggest thing that we heard over and over again is they wanted more authentic cuisine, fresh ingredients, more of a variety, and just something of a transformation of what they were currently experiencing with dining.
Fabian also says the menu will expand and more restaurants will be added in the next few years.
The Undocu Spartan Resource Center is expanding legal services to SJSU students. Students can meet with one-on-one attorneys. Viviana de la Peña is live on campus with the story. Viviana?
Elizabeth, students can seek legal help at the Undocu Spartan Resource Center free of cost. This helps them have access to legal resources instead of doing it on their own.
The Undocu Spartan Resource Center is giving undocumented SJSU students appointments to meet with attorneys. Students are able to book appointments with an attorney in order to seek legal advice about their immigration status. New Nguyen, intern at the Undocu Spartan Resource Center, says the center has decided to get rid of walk-in hours because students were not showing up at those times.
We do it like by appointment, so if you sign up, we reserve a spot for you. That way, students have more responsible to come and meet the attorney.
The Undocu Spartan Resource Center launched the semester with their fall welcome event. Speakers attended the event to share the purpose of the center and the many resources that they provide for students, especially for undocumented students. The program coordinator for Undocu Spartan Resource Center says undocumented students are facing more challenges these days because of the political climate.
The challenges really come at the outside level, which is the federal level, and just all the disruption some of the current president is creating in the way that our students either ask for help.
Although the Undocu Spartan Resource Center first opened its doors at San Jose State in January 2018, the planning for the center began in 2016. Before the opening of the center, undocumented students say they felt unsupported on campus. Ariadna Manso, San Jose State's Associated Student President, noted the change she felt as a freshman student on campus to now a senior.
We weren't part of the conversations because students weren't sharing their voice or sharing their stories, and so the university never really took it into consideration that these students were actually dropping out because they didn't feel welcomed here. So it's changed tremendously.
Even after graduation, students can use the Undocu Spartan Resource Center. Live on campus, Viviana de la Peña, Update News.
Thank you, Viviana. As night starts to fall earlier, students are taking extra precautions regarding their safety when walking home late at night. And the University Police Department is working to increase safety measures for students. As the sun sets, students begin to clear campus, and safety is a top concern.
I'm never by myself because I don't think that's a good idea. But when I'm on campus, I feel the safest compared to when I get off campus.
Campus police have thousands of students to protect. One way to ensure their safety is the blue light phones located around campus, which students are encouraged to use.
Blue light phones can actually be used for emergencies. They can be used for any reason to contact the University Police Department. They're not just for emergencies.
Blue light phones gleam through a dark campus as beacons in case of an emergency. If students don't wish to use the blue light phones, they can also contact the tip line, where students can report suspicious activity anonymously.
But I know that on campus they have services that help students feel safer, like all of the poles with the blue poles with the buttons. I know that if you press it, then it's directly connected to SJPD.
The University Police Department also has escort services available for students who live off campus. By calling a simple phone number, students can call a safety shuttle. Shuttles can drive students to and off campus housing, but only until 1 a.m.
There are plans to actually add a second shuttle. We're in the middle of the hiring process to bring more student assistants aboard.
The new shuttle is meant to decrease the waiting times as well as adding times in which the shuttles can be used.
The city of San Jose is facing criticism over proposed construction of a new Google campus. The company and city government staff are making efforts to address the community's concerns, but some observers say it's not enough. Mauricio LaPlante has the story.
We're not going to let
San Jose residents are demanding that city officials protect them from losing their homes as Google plans to build its new downtown complex.
It's a waste of time.
Their goal? To disrupt the process.
We are the answer to our challenges in San Jose, and that we have to make those solutions, the solutions to those problems, a reality. The city is not going to do it for us. Google is not going to do it for us. It's up to us.
Activists etched their sentiments on the ground and taped up words describing the sights and sounds of their community, reading them aloud to show what they're fighting for.
El sonido de una campana.
Meanwhile, city officials say they're trying to address people's concerns.
Clearly what was on people's mind all along and has been heightened now is concerns about the affordability of housing in the area and about potential displacement.
A Google representative says that the company is looking for ways to avoid residents getting priced out and being out of a job.
We look forward to continuing to work with the residents and the Station Area Advisory Group and other community members to identify solutions that will help address some of the concerns, as well as housing and rents, as well as jobs.
So we're not going to be displaced and we're not going to be erased.
But whether this will be enough for protesters, city officials, and Google to see eye to eye, that remains unclear. From the Mexican Heritage Plaza in San Jose, Mauricio LaPlante, Update News.
A common way that students get around on campus is actually illegal. Campus officials are discussing possible outcomes for the motorized scooters that are found all over SJSU. Due to California state code, motorized scooters are not permitted on sidewalks will include college campuses. School officials must wait for a proposal released by the city of San Jose to make possible changes. Suggestions are being made by student leaders to ensure student safety.
Eastside San Jose community members want a 33-year-old mural to be restored. They're asking the city to help them in their efforts. Jose Gavea is live in the newsroom with more. Jose?
Alex, the mural depicted Mexican leaders, but it was painted over unexpectedly and later covered with graffiti.
A crowd of organizers, artists, and community members with sentimental connections to this mural gathered next to this wall on Story Road on Mexican Independence Day. Rather than yelling and chanting in protest, they laughed and clapped in the small parking lot.
So the vibe is definitely that of a celebration and more of a joyous resistance to, erasure of our culture.
This gray wall, now with scribbled graffiti, once portrayed Mexican figures who helped change the lives of many people living in Mexico.
People have achieved great things that look like us, people that we come from.
Artist Jose Mesa created the original mural. He was trying to encourage creativity among one certain demographic.
This mural was intended to include all the youth who are painting graffiti to be involved with making serious art.
The Emergency Committee for the Preservation of Chicano Arts are pushing to get multiple murals here in San Jose preserved and documented. Not only are they involved with art, but they also want school systems here in San Jose to teach Chicano studies.
Members of multiple organizations, such as the San Jose Brown Berets and Silicon Valley Debug, are gathering signatures. They plan to ask city leaders to bring back the mural and bring honor to their culture.
Who painted over the mural remains a mystery. California law requires that artists be notified before their work is moved or destroyed. Live in the newsroom, Jose Francisco Govea, Update News.
Thank you, Jose. When we come back, Nayeli Lopez will be here with a look at arts and entertainment.
We'll take to a film festival showing movies that used to be off-limits to audiences.
And rugby is a rough sport. Later on in sports, we'll show you how it's played at SJSU.
At San Jose State University,
we discover who we want to be. For ourselves,
for our families,
for our communities.
Different and unexpected.
Begin here.
At the heart of a transforming valley, in a city that is tough and beautiful.
We are Spartans.
What powers us changes our world.
For the first time, a virtual reality headset is available to SJSU students. The new Virtual Reality Center opened up to promote the educational and entertainment usage in this growing tech space. Students have a chance to try out virtual reality through a variety of immersive games at Clark Hall. This is the first year the Virtual Reality Center has started. It soft launched during the summer to lay the groundwork for this semester. According to SJSU IT VR technical lead Cameron Myers, the plan is to continue it in the spring.
So we've seen a lot of support from students that have used it. We're still working on getting more people in. We would love to see more people come in and use it, considering it's fun and it's entertaining. It's fun to use.
There are different types of games available to play at the Virtual Reality Center. Paint VR allows people to paint onto a digital canvas, while Beat Saber is very similar to Guitar Hero, but instead of using plastic instruments, you're using a combination of your arms and one of these units. The idea behind the program began after a need from teachers and students to visualize the material in the classroom. For chemistry senior Danielle Zopia has helped her be a better student.
It's hard to understand something that's you have to like visually think about or like think about in a third dimension. So it's easier for me to like understand the concepts.
SJSU faculty can be trained on the equipment and get advice on how to incorporate it into their classroom at the IT Center. Students can book a time slot to go hands-on with the Oculus Rift headset on display. And now with Nayeli Lopez with Arts Entertainment.
What's going on in the art department, Nayeli?
They have lots of exciting things happening, actually. San Jose State's art department is bringing in outside experts to teach students about art and curating. The department hosted San Francisco curators Bob Linder and Diego Villalobos. They spoke to a crowded room on September 18th about their gallery dedicated to artist David Ireland and what it is like to be a curator. The presentation included images from Ireland's collection, including a single chair in a doorway and a staircase full of angel statues. Linder and Villalobos hope students learn more about exhibitions and encourage people to learn more about contemporary art. SJSU's community garden produces fresh fruits and vegetables for the campus community, but there is too much produce and not enough students to take it home. Kaylee Lawler has more on the story.
Directly across from SJSU's Dining Commons sits the AS Campus Community Garden. Many students come to help volunteer, but not enough produce is going home with students. At the recent Harvest Fest, garden organizers have a cooking demonstration and a table of leafy greens.
If people were constantly coming in and getting the produce, we wouldn't do this because we wouldn't have so much surplus.
Organizers say they practice sustainable methods such as eliminating use of pesticides and practicing polyculture and permaculture.
I definitely did not expect an entire garden. I think it's amazing because it's something that I've grown doing, and I just think that it's great to see something like this on campus.
Organizations that came to help set up including the students from the Environmental Resource Center and the Cesar Chavez Community Action Center.
It's good to just have a place for the community to come and sort of be out in nature with plants and stuff, especially in an urban environment like this, like San Jose State.
Produce found at their offering table include cucumbers, tomatoes, pomegranates, and a large watermelon ready to be cut.
So today my main goal is to get a lot of people to come and just be outdoors and explore what we have to offer them.
The garden produces roughly more produce per square foot than most conventional gardens, making it hard to give away their surplus.
This is the most direct access to fresh, real food.
The community garden has plans to work with the dining commons, possibly setting up a promotional table to offer their surplus outside the garden or set up a permanent pantry for students in need. On campus, this is Kaylee Lawler, Update News.
In celebration of Constitution Day last Monday, faculty and students took part in a band film festival. The all-day event happened inside of the library with a wide range of movies that have a history of controversy. 4 of the 5 of our American films that were banned in various times in the U.S., one was banned in Iran in the year 2000. The controversial movies included the 1950 James Cagney film, Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, and the 1980 Italian movie, Cannibal Holocaust.
I really wanted to, first of all, get movies that were from a large time range so we could sort of see how people's morals have changed over time.
Due to low attendance, Professor Brett said that this might be the last year that he organizes a band film festival. And that does it for arts and entertainment.
And sports is up next with Thomas.
2 East Bay cities are supplying the ranks of a Spartan football team. Find out which ones they are.
The SJSU women's rugby team is off strong. The start to the semester, full roster and relief of the players. Thomas Soares with sports.
Where do a majority of the recruits come from?
Well, Alex, that's what this next story is all about. Many people on campus probably can't locate Antioch or Pittsburgh on a map. However, San Jose State's football team's forming a recruiting pipeline in this little-known suburban area. Luke Johnson has more on the story.
Better known for railroads and hip-hop music, East Bay Area towns Antioch and Pittsburgh have become a recruiting hotbed for Spartan football. When SJSU head coach Brent Brennan was hired almost 2 years ago, there was only 1 player on the team from Pittsburgh and Antioch. Now, there are 6.
A lot of those kids come from situations that aren't, maybe as fortunate as others, and so they see football as their opportunity to get an education. They see that football as an opportunity to give themselves another chance or a new life.
Brennan says when he came to San Jose State, he knew forming a pipeline in East Contra Costa County was imperative to his recruiting motto, Shield the Bay. The motto is inspired by the team's goal to keep the best Bay Area high school football players in the Bay.
Well, first of all, Coach Brennan made it a big emphasis to recruit the East Bay. So that's why we come with our motto, Shield the Bay. That's one of the things we wanted to do. So we wanted to make sure we tapped into that area.
Most of the players from Antioch and Pittsburgh are freshmen. However, freshman linebacker Kyle Harmon has already made big plays. In his second college game, he made a fourth-quarter interception. In his third game and first career start, he led the team in tackles. The Spartans' homecoming game is tomorrow versus Hawaii. I'm Luke Johnson, Update News.
San Jose State Women's Rugby Club makes a comeback this year with a full roster. For the first time, the team qualifies to compete in their conference. Lavetta Jackson reports on the effect of the major conference on this year's team.
The new rugby coaches are former USA players. Anthony Gautier is an SJSU alumni and coach. Gautier played for the men's rugby team in 2014 and 2015.
This year it'll be the first year that we are in a full conference. We'll have a full team and a second string team as well as replacement players this year.
The team is out on the field from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Mondays, the student athletes are in class learning about the sport and watching replays. The replays are of past rugby games. Analyzing the plays get the team prepared to work on their moves on the field.
The first year, I believe in 2016, there was about 10 to 12 players that came out and tried. By the end of last year, which was our 2017 to 2018 season, we're only left with about 9 players.
The full roster gives the team advantages during the games. Having only 9 players in the past set SJSU's rugby team in a bad place.
Based on what I've seen so far, the numbers are higher than they've ever been in our year and a half back. So things are looking up. I don't think we're going to have to forfeit a single game.
In the past years, the rugby team was forced to forfeit their games because of the lack of players.
This year's huge recruitment sets up high expectations for the team. You can definitely expect to win this season.
The team never finished out a season without the loss of many games. The extra amount of people has many advantages.
This year we now have about 35 players and are still recruiting.
The team's first game is December 1st against Santa Clara University to kick off the season. In San Jose, Lavetta Jackson, Update News.
The standards to keep San Jose State University in Division I football are high. But is the team hitting its mark? Reporter Lindsay Boyd went to the first game of the season to find out.
Game days at SJSU Stadium are usually quiet. The line into the stadium is short and the seats are wide open. But this home opener against UC Davis was different.
It was a pretty packed crowd for our first game against UC Davis, and that's really what they brought us in for.
He is part of a marketing company called Aspire Sports Marketing Group. Ticket salesman Ian Fozzie said $25 tickets were still being sold minutes before the game.
I'd say a couple hundred myself, and I think each of us probably 150 to 200 maybe a piece.
The student section was full too.
Students get into the games for free with their tower card. In fact, we were talking with some security guards who actually stopped letting students into the student section simply because it was too full.
The attendance in the stands looked like it matched the attendance on paper. More than 12,000 recorded on paper and thousands sitting in the stands. And according to Lopez, the more fans that show up, the better chance SJSU can stay in Division I football.
In D1 football, we either have to have a minimum of 15,000, an average of 15,000 seats sold per game, or there's a revenue goal as well.
Lopez was unsure what the revenue goal is, and according to NCAA, SJSU was 794 tickets shy of the average 15,000 mark. Mountain West declined to comment about SJSU football's attendance, but Lopez has hope SJSU can get more fans into the stands this year. From SJSU Stadium, Lindsay Boyd, Update News.
It's a big football weekend at SJSU. The Spartans will host Hawaii Saturday at SJSU Stadium. It's homecoming week. SJSU has a record 47 wins and 32 losses and 2 ties in homecoming games. Kickoff is 4 p.m. And that's all I have for sports. So are you guys going to the game tomorrow?
I probably will.
Yeah, we got to support our Spartans.
We'll be there.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.